So is it bad that I'm looking forward to maybe getting pretty privileged?
Drop a hot 16, ain't shit sweet. Real bad bitch, they ain't fucking with me. It's a real nigga speaking, stand to your feet.
Hey honey, it's your girl Asia J and welcome back to Brown Honey TV. If it's your first time here, make sure you give me a little subscribe below. And if it's not your first time here, welcome back home, honey. Today your girl's getting ready to go see T-Pain in concert, and I'm actually needing to rapido because I have to little meet and greet, kicking it backstage and all of that. So before I get to yapping and chatting about my new life as a skinny bitch, let's get some eyebrows on and we can get to chatting. Honey, I didn't fill them in. Let's clean them up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And just like that, we got action. Some people don't like them eyebrows be thick, but baby, they thick like me because I got real hair. Okay, it's real weight up there. It's real hairs going on. I mean, it's a little exaggeration, but for the most part, it's all there. So I don't know, I'm not a skinny bitch yet. I'm definitely smaller than what I used to be. In case you are new here, I was 538 pounds back in November, and I decided that enough was enough. So I took my ass to the doctor and finally saw through having weight loss surgery. I have to do no switch, and if you want to know more about that, I have a couple other videos on that. Prior to having weight loss surgery, I really locked in and got super disciplined by changing my eating habits and working out way more than I ever used to in my 28 years. So between surgery and what I did before surgery, I'm down 124 pounds. That's a whole little person. 124 pounds, and it's crazy how much life is already changing with losing that 124 pounds. I lost 86 of that before surgery and the rest after surgery. Mind you, I'm only 2 months post-op, and I don't know how much weight you should be losing per month. I'm really trying to not psych myself out with that because I feel like you can quickly feel like you need to be losing more weight. I've been trying to not focus so much on the scale and focus on how I feel, how my clothes feel, how my body feels, how my mobility is different, and the doors are unlocking, honey. At my heaviest, I was wearing size 36 pants, and I have always been a bigger girl, so I have size pants ranging from 24 all the way to 36, and it feels so good to be back in my torrid size 30s. So I know I'm not really near my actual goal, which is being able to shop in a mall. I'm just so much closer because even Torrid don't got the size 30s in their store, and they're a big girl store. How y'all discriminating against the big girls and y'all the big girls? I've been larger than all the other kids my whole life, so I've missed out on so much stuff that I'm never really gonna get back, like prom, homecoming dance, all that stuff. But I'm 28 years old now. I gotta let that stuff go, but there's so much more in store for me to look forward to. And some of this stuff is so small and so simple, and probably some stuff you've never thought about looking forward to because you've just always been able to experience them if you're in a smaller body. I know this sounds crazy, but I don't wear a seatbelt like at all, and I actually got my seatbelt plugged into my car so it doesn't ding 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 and drive me crazy. And what does drive me crazy is when I valet or somebody else gets in my car, and of course they unbuckle it, and they unbuckle it because it's normal to wear a seatbelt. It's not normal to have the motherfucker tucked behind you. If I'm being completely raw and honest with you, something I'm looking forward to losing weight, especially coming from being significantly larger, is the ability to be saved. What if I really did need help? What if I did really need some type of rescuing? I felt like in my larger body, I just was doomed, that there was no saving me, that there was no help for me, that I would be just lost or forgotten. So even in some of my happiest and most joyous moments, like vacations, I knew not to take it too far just in case I took it too far. Do you know how many boats I've been on and never jumped off because I was terrified of being washed away at sea? I don't think I've ever been able to put on a life jacket, so why would I jump in a body of water knowing that I might be a goner? With that in mind, do you know how many times I've been to Mexico? 3? Maybe even 4. I think for sure 3. And I've never been on an ATV. I've never been ziplining through the jungle. Hell, I've never even went to the cenotes because I was scared about what the structure would be and how it would be navigating such ground. I remember for my 25th birthday, I planned an awesome trip to Tulum with all of my friends, all of the excursions, everything action-packed. And I was planning for things that I just simply couldn't experience. And while my friends are so amazing because they offered not to do them, there was no way that I was going to rob them of certain experiences because of my decisions. And by that, I mean, I take full ownership of what I've done to get me to the body that I was in and even the body I'm in today. So I would never be the type of person that would want people to not experience something just because I couldn't. That kind of reminds me of the many times that I've been in the club with all of my other baddie friends, because don't get me wrong, I've never thought that I wasn't a baddie, but I feel like it's levels to it, and different type of women get different type of experiences. So when they get offered drinks or they get offered to be brought into a section to have certain experiences, I've always encouraged them to go ahead and enjoy. And sometimes they've went too far with it, and I knew that that was the end of that relationship. When I've talked about this before, some people try to rain on my parade and say, well, just because you lose weight, that don't mean that you're gonna get invited to sections and drinks bought for you. Well, let me lose the weight and see what the experience is, because so far it's just one of those things that has never happened for me. I've never been in a social setting and a man walked up to me offering to buy me a drink, nor have I been anywhere out and been selected out of the crowd to come have a different experience just based on my beauty. So is it bad that I'm looking forward to maybe getting pretty privilege? I feel like I've always experienced something a little unique though, in the sense that people recognize real. Real does recognize real, meaning that I've been in settings and I am significantly larger than probably anyone else in the room, but the way I carry myself, the way my head is up high, the way my shoulders are back and my tatas are up and out, you can't help but to respect the attention that I command. But respect doesn't always get you everywhere. And I don't know if it's just because the men that try to talk to me are broke, or maybe they just feel like I'm lucky to talk to them, but I want to be a part of Flued Out Airlines. I want to experience a man wanting me to be where he's at and enjoy my company and my presence, and he paid for it. Just recently I had an experience where a guy wanted to see me allegedly so bad and wanted me to come to where he's at, which is Houston, and I live in Dallas, and he offered no logistics, no plans as to how that's supposed to happen. You thought I just was gonna poof genie be there with an open mouth and open legs on my dime? I feel like we've been talking about men a lot lately, and there's no shame in my game. I'm not in denial about the fact that I'm looking forward to partnership. I know that men are visual, blah, 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 blah. And I know that me getting in a smaller body is opening up more opportunities for me to connect with people that don't even know me, because I've already said it once and I'll say it again. Please don't ever embarrass yourself by spinning a block on me knowing you didn't want me when I was big. And I just feel like it's not fair to me. If you knew me as a person, meaning that it shouldn't have been just visual, you actually have experienced me and you said that you didn't want me around, or don't want me around when I'm smaller, because I'm literally the same person. Besides Flued Out Airlines, I'm looking forward to going on vacation with a man. I've never been on vacation with a man. Y'all know I don't do that spend a night because it's fake intimacy. But I want to be out somewhere in our matching outfits, looking like we belong together, enjoying time on the sun and coming back to the room and, you know, rendezvousing. Hell, I've never even gotten to wear a man's clothes before, because I don't know if it's just me, but all of the men that like me are this big, and Big Mama can't fit none of their stuff. I remember when I was at Swim Thick Cancun last year, and I met this guy that I actually went to college with, had no clue. And y'all, why he knew somebody that I knew, and they saw me in one of his videos and asked me if I knew him. I said, oh, now I'm being busted out and exposed. I promise you, the messiest person you know is a man. But that man on the trip had a physique like no other. He was tall, he was big, he used to play football. You the type I like, Papa. I've kind of always gravitated towards the football boys though, because I knew they could handle a little something. And I remember walking up to that man after I had flirted with him in the pool, and I took a nice little squat on his lap. I didn't put that pressure on him, but I was definitely putting a little bit of weight on him. I wouldn't have did it to anybody else, at least not the normal men that I be fraternizing with. And for those couple of seconds of levitating over that man's lap, I felt like the only girl in the world. I said, is this what this feels like? Being able to sit on a man's lap, feeling all cute and petite. I'm looking forward to that. I feel like I still got another 100 pounds to go before I'm just out here sitting on laps. But when I get there, there will be signs. Well, I've definitely started hokey pokeying since I've had surgery. And boy, is there a difference in that. My stamina is up there. My energy is up there. But these knees are still not there. I just refuse to be a cowgirl in this body. And I know my fellow plus size girls have given me all the tips on how to do it and how to make it happen. But when you are messing with these men that are twigs, baby, we're not gonna end up on how sex sent me to the operating room. I refuse. So while I know it's TMI, I'm looking forward to being a cowgirl. I feel like that role, okay, that job gets a lot of women a lot of things, honey. So I just want to see, I just want to test it out. I just want to test the waters to see what it's like getting up there. Don't get me wrong, I've done a little pop, a little reverse, but never just, you know, man, good knees, good knees. I'm gonna have to increase my mobility exercises if I want to do that. I don't know what it is about 350 pounds that just makes me feel more comfortable, because that is still a bigger girl. But I think because it's just significantly smaller, at that point I would be nearly 200 pounds down from my heaviest weight. It just makes me feel a lot more comfortable about doing a lot more things, including being a cowgirl. While I don't think I've ever truly been insecure about my hokey pokey performance, I definitely do feel like as of late I've been kind of wondering, like, I don't want to get in a situation where I'm with the man and he's bored because he's doing all of the work. And don't get me wrong, I'm no pillow princess, but there's only so much Big Mama can do and that I'm willing to do. Besides opening my legs, trust me, I'm also looking forward to crossing my legs, crisscross applesauce, sitting in a chair a certain way. Hell, sitting in a bar stool and not feeling like I'm fighting for my life. Not going into a restaurant, scanning the room to see if there are any low top tables in a room full of high tops. So many of these things are such simple things that you don't realize how much of a privilege they are until you don't have access to them. On the topic of access, I've been a big girl working in the big corporate America world for the last 5 years now. So I've been able to afford a couple trips, but no matter how much I'm able to afford one trip, it doesn't beat the fact that I have not been able to be in international waters. Don't get me wrong. I've been to Jamaica, I've been to Mexico, but y'all know what y'all say. That ain't really traveling for real. It's traveling me. It's traveling me. I get on a plane and I travel, so it's traveling to me. Next year I have a flight booked to Dubai for February for one of my close friends' 30th, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about what is it gonna be like sitting on a plane for 14 plus hours. I think it's about 15 total, post weight loss surgery, having lost this weight, not knowing what the booty trump is gonna be on, and having to sit in one single seat. I haven't flown any other airlines in a very, very long time. I think last time I flown another airline, it was college, and it was actually Alaska. And it was a traumatizing experience, and not because of really anybody else's fault, but really because of the body that I was in. I remember the flight being full, and I already was kind of encroaching over into another person's seat, and for some reason, and I don't know if I was the reason, we wound up having to deplane. And when they went to get people back on the plane, they stopped me. They stopped me and they asked me if I was going to be willing to take another flight. And while I'm always down to get a flight credit, they weren't offering any. They wanted me off the plane at no compensation, and I was supposed to just do it. And that was my last time flying any other airline. And I believe one day I just booked a Southwest flight because it was probably the cheapest. And it was one of the best things that happened to me, because I learned on that flight that when you walk up to the counter, when Southwest sees you, if they notice you got a little bit more cushion for the pushing, they will automatically accommodate you by giving you the extra seat next to you for no cost. You just walk up to the counter, and it's called the customer of size policy. And many people got very upset with me when I talked about the benefits of this policy. But don't get me wrong, it benefits them too, because I've been in a situation many times where they're yelling over the intercom, the flight is full, the flight is full. And because you get to get the seat next to you, they allow you to also pre-board. If you didn't know, Southwest doesn't have assigned seating. So the only way to get that extra seat is to get on that plane early. So I'm always on the plane early, and I have to watch each person walk by and figure out where they're gonna sit, and who wouldn't want to sit in the front of the plane after a long flight. People that would think that they're gonna wind up having to sit next to the bigger person. And if I'm being honest, I don't think that I'm mad at them. It's just a reality of the experience. I wouldn't want to be sitting on a flight with somebody else in my lap either, right? So my Emirates flight to Dubai next year will be my first time in international waters and my first time flying any other airline in a really long time. I have a trip planned to Cancun this November, and I don't have my flight yet, and that's because those Southwest flights right now are high as giraffe woofy. And while I would love to book on another airline, I feel a little insecure about what my body's gonna look like come November, and I would hate to be in the same experience that I was in with Alaska. I do have a flight coming up soon in June. I'm heading out to the West Coast, and I do know I'll still need my seatbelt extender, but I'm looking forward to the day that I don't. But well before the seatbelt extender comes off, I think I just want to go from 2 seats to 1. I feel like for a long time, I've had to constantly think about my weight in everything I do, even when it comes to the most simple activities. And don't get me wrong, now that I've had weight loss surgery, there's still a lot to think about, including my ass. Meaning, I can't eat too crazy at any point of the day because there ain't no telling where I'm gonna wind up at. But is that trade-off worth it? I already kind of feel like it is. While I feel like I've definitely listed some things that are pretty far away on the chart because more weight needs to be lost, some things are probably right around the corner. Like being able to ride a scooter through the city. I'm always seeing the bird scooters and lime scooters, and they've been out since I've been in college, and I've never ever been on one. I've never been on a horse, and while I think it's kind of inhumane, what if I want to ride a camel while I'm in Dubai, and just to have that experience, just to say I did it, just to say that I could. I'm going overseas, and your girl will of course want to buy some designer ting. Big mama shoe can't fit that stuff, so I can't wait to buy me a nice cute pair of LV slide and have some white toes out for the hoes. Like right now, I really want some for my Miami trip in July, but right now the only size that I can fit is the men's, and them shoes looks like they for the men's. When I started to think about all of the things I look forward to, I felt 50-50 about it. 50% of me felt bad about all of the things that I've missed out on and feeling bad about leaving my old body behind. And then the other part of me is just beaming with joy and looking forward to everything that's still in store for me, that I still have an opportunity to do, that it's not over for me just because I've missed out so far. I know this journey is just beginning, but so many things have already started to happen. It makes me realize that it's all gonna be worth it. Hell, tying my shoe is even different. You know, if you're a big girl like myself, sometimes when you tie your shoe, it's tied on the side. Honey, now my bow is right in the middle. But no matter where you are in the journey, whether you've already started, whether you started, stopped like myself many times, or you need to get back up, or maybe you're already through, never doubt the fact that you're deserving of love, experiences, and true joy, no matter where you're at on the journey. And always know there's always more in store for you. I love you, honey. I hope you enjoyed this. I need to go find a fit. Hopefully something T-Pain compliments on, because we love T-Pain. Bye, honey.
Look me in my eyes when you speak to me. Real boss bitch, got my own shit. Love a nigga dick, but that's about it. Brown skin, honey, reppin' murder mid. Fam on my back, I ain't losing for shit. First, not the last, to be this lit. Fuck the moolah, if it can't be split. Next up, get used to it. When you hear brown honey, you know it's me, bitch.